Hi everyone! Today we're going to talk briefly about objects known as Kudurrus, which are great because they have inscriptions and carved decoration on them, and they're just really useful and interesting. So a Kudurru was a large stone, usually in the region of 50 centimeters tall, that contained inscriptions involving land grants. They first appear in the Middle Babylonian or Kassite period, which is 1595 to 1155 BCE, a period of time in which southern Mesopotamia is ruled by an outside group known as the Kassites, who came to power after the fall of the first dynasty of Babylon. They're generally restricted to southern Mesopotamia, which makes them a regional phenomenon. While they're hallmarks of the Kassite period, there are earlier examples of things that look a lot like Kudurrus. For example, the Stele of Ushumgal, which records the transaction involving land, real estate, and livestock. Unfortunately, the exact nature of this transaction is unclear because of the very archaic nature of the script. But it has the inscription and it has a relief carving, which are seen very commonly on the Kudurrus of the Kassite period. So they include intricate designs and symbols, iconography really, on the top portion of the Kudurru, which represent the deities that are invoked in the curse formula of the inscription. They're usually found in temples, so they were intended to be set up as a public record really of the land grant, but they also were supposed to represent actual boundary stones that may have been placed along the property lines of the land mentioned. Some of the symbols have the names of the gods and goddesses they represent written next to them. This is really helpful for the study of Mesopotamian iconography, because without captions and without written descriptions of what an image represents, it can be quite difficult to narrow down exactly what's being portrayed. So let's take a look at one. This is a Kudurru of King Marduk-Nardin-Ahe, and records the purchase of land by a royal official named Marduk-Natsir from one man named Amel-Enlil. The inscription itself describes the location of the land and the price paid for it, which is listed in various objects, which are all correlated with a price in silver, so the total value would have been 716 shekels of silver. Carved into one face, that's the face without the inscription, is a depiction of the Babylonian king, Marduk-Nardin-Ahe, holding a bow and an arrow. And the top of the Kudurru is covered with divine iconography, which we mentioned already, including horned crowns, which were a very common symbol of divinity. Gods and goddesses, when they're depicted, usually have these crowns. If a king is divinized, he will have one of these crowns. So we have these crowns, a turtle and an arrow, all of which are shown on top of altars, as well as a snake, a scorpion, and astral symbols.